Welcome to the USN River Campus for another broadcast of USN Baseball. Tonight it's senior night, and the USN Tigers will be taking on the Eagles of Zion Christian. My name is Reed Murray, and joining me is Kyle Wolfson for another USN Baseball broadcast. Tonight, senior night, exciting night for all the players, especially the seniors. What are you hoping to see out of the Tigers?
Well, hopefully we're going to get to see a lot of seniors play tonight. I know this is a team we've beaten in the past, so I think maybe the seniors are going to see a lot of playing time tonight.
Yeah, and one senior is getting some playing time tonight, Graydon Frank, who's on the mound. First bat of the day, stepping into the box for Zion Christian, and he's about to deliver the first pitch. First pitch is a high and outside ball, so it'll be a 1-0 count for Frank. Graydon Frank, this is the second senior night of the year. He had his senior day in basketball, and he really showed up on that day. Big man playing in the paint, getting some rebounds, getting some points. So we'll see if he can shine on another senior day. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's going to be a high ball. 2-0 the count now for the senior. This is Dylan Rumyans in the plate for Zion. It's another high ball. That one looked a little closer to the strike zone, but the batter a little bit short, so the strike zone is smaller. 3-0 count to start the day for Graydon. Here comes a 3-0 pitch. That one in the dirt, and it'll be a 4-pitch walk, and we start off the day with one batter reaching first base for Zion. Number 5, Max Brown, stepping into the box for Zion, a runner on first base. And we'll see if Graydon tries to go with the slide step or if he lifts his leg here. Probably going to see a steal here. Usually have a pretty fast first batter. So we'll see how catcher Nathan Woodard deals with that, another senior for the USN Tigers. First pitch of the count. No steal, and that one is a ball slightly outside. I thought that could have been called a strike. But the umpire doesn't agree with me. Today in the field for the Tigers, Townsend Stevenson, the sophomore, playing first base. Freshman Mahoney Donick at second. Owen Block at shortstop. And at third, we got Grant Riley, the freshman. Moving to the outfield, we have Harry Fitzgibbon in center field, Will Meyer in right, and there's the 1-0 pitch. It'll be another ball, 2-0 count. And in left field, we got Jeffrey Friedman. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Another high ball. 3-0 now, so Graydon struggling to find the strike zone so far. What do you make of this performance?
Well, we saw this in the warm-ups. He wasn't always hitting the strike box, but I think if he keeps playing, I think he'll find his way to the strike zone.
Yeah, he's an experienced pitcher. He's been here for a while, and there's another 4-0 walk. 4-pitch walk as ball 4 goes high, and now Nathan Woodard will go talk to his fellow senior at the mound. But he's an experienced pitcher. He's been here before. He's dealt with adversity, and he's responded well. So clearly some early adversity for the pitcher, but hopefully he'll start to find his groove soon. Runners on first and second now for Zion as Cade Montgomery steps into the box, number 15 for the Eagles. He's a left-handed batter, batting third, and the first pitch. Swung on, and it's grounded to second base. Donick goes to second, and they try to turn 2. They get the out at second base, but can't quite get the second one at first. So now we have runners on first and third, and 1 out. So probably going to see some kind of first and third play here for Zion. Probably going to try to steal second as left-handed batter Wyatt Hines is stepping into the box, second lefty of the day. And they're going to steal second. Nathan throws down. Throw gets there, but tag doesn't. Now they get the tag at home. And he's going to be out. They threw it down to second base. Didn't get the runner there, but Owen Block was there to make the catch, released it quickly, got it home, and they applied the tag. Beat him by a mile, really, so now runner on second. We have 2 outs. Zion thought they were going to get an easy run there when Nathan decided to throw it down. But we didn't see that. What do you make of that play?
I mean, I'm not really surprised. Owen's been a superstar this entire season. He broke 90 on the mound last week, and they're probably not playing a pitcher just because they don't want to waste his talent. He just gunned it in the first, though.
Yeah, he has been on fire this season. He opened the year with a no-hitter on the mound, or No, was it? I believe it was a no-hitter. And that ball driven into left field, and it is caught by Jeffrey Friedman. That will be the inning. It was looking like Zion was in prime position to score as they got those 2 walks, but then Graydon Frank turns around, gets some much better pitches. Like we saw, he's dealing with that adversity well, and they go 3 up, 3 down after those first 2 walks. 0-0 the score going into the bottom of the first. So really an incredible finish to that first inning. Completely the opposite of what we saw to start. And do you think this is going to be kind of a momentum shift for the Tigers after everything was going Zion's way for those first 2 at-bats, and then all of a sudden 3 outs right there? Do you think this could have a serious impact on the momentum?
I think so. I think starting the game, letting up 0 runs is just an amazing way to set your team up for a great later game. And not only that, I just think that the outfield just not making errors. The only time I've seen USN lose major points is when they've made errors in the outfield or infield, and just seeing them play almost perfectly there was really what made them not give up any runs.
Yeah, some great play both in the infield and outfield, especially the middle infield. They almost turned 2 for a double play, but either way, Mahoney Dontic at second base, out of his normal position, typically playing center field or third base, and he's stepping up here at second today. He gets that first out at second, and Owen Block almost gets the second one at first base, and then he turns around and throws the guy out at home. So far, a strong showing from the middle infield. Hopefully we can see that continue. And the first batter is the inning for USN. It's going to be Mahoney Dontic, the second baseman, leading off as usual. Owen Block, shortstop, once again in the number 2 spot, and then Harry Fitzgibbon, the center fielder, will be the number 3 hitter, with Townsend Stevenson coming in as the cleanup. It's interesting to see a freshman as the leadoff batter, but he's been doing it all season, and he's been doing it pretty well. Mahoney Dontic, certainly a talented player, and he's stepped up when he's needed to. Been a strong first guy at the plate for the Tigers this season, and now Zion throws it down to end their warm-ups for this inning, and we head into the bottom of the first. So Donnick stepping into the box now. And the first pitch of the day for Zion, a ball low and outside, so it'll be a 1-0 count for Mahoney. Pitcher today for Zion is Wyatt Hines, the lefty. Second pitch driven into the outfield. It's going to go, looks like it's right into the hands of the left fielder, so that'll be 1 out for the Tigers early on. But it was a solid drive. Certainly a good thing to see somebody not only making contact, making solid contact like that, and we might see him straighten that out later in the game and turn that into a line drive, potentially a double, because that ball did have some air on it. So now stepping into the box, and that's a ball low. Stepping into the box is Owen Block, who got that out. Get the second out of the inning for the Tigers. 1-0 count now as that ball was almost at his feet, inside and low. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Another ball, high ball, so it'll be 2-0 now. To a pitch, low and inside, 3-0 count. Wyatt Hines, the pitcher for Zion, he is the one who flew out to end the inning. And now he's on the mound. 3-0 pitch, or 2-0 pitch, apologies. Swung on, fouled off. 2-1 count now, with 1 out for Owen. And he deals the 2-1 pitch. Outside and high. I know that was a 3-1 pitch, so now he is walked. So I was right, it was a 3-0 count on Owen when he swung at it. Scoreboard was just wrong. My mistake. So now Owen Block on first base. Stepping into the box now is Harry Fitzgibbon. Interesting to see a lot of youth early on in this lineup. We have freshman, sophomore, and another sophomore, and then we get our first senior of the night in Nathan Woodard in the number 5 spot, and they try to pick off to first base. He's a lefty, so he does have the ability to pick off well, to lift that leg and try to catch Owen sleeping, but he wasn't taking too big of a lead, not trying to be extremely daring here on the base paths. And now they lay down a bunt. Owen, he's going to try to get to second. He will, and they throw him out at first base. So Harry Fitzgibbon moves Owen on to second, but it'll cost him an out, so now they have 2 outs as Townsend, the cleanup hitter, steps up to the plate. And there's some kind of confusion here. Not sure quite what's going on, but Coach Gimblett is going to meet with the umpire. Owen has been sent back to first base, and Harry now is putting his batting gloves back on, looking like he's going to step back into the box. Like they're appealing for maybe a foul ball on that bunt. Not quite sure if it was a foul ball, but Coach G is certainly arguing that it was. Obviously, we can't quite hear from the broadcast booth out in center field what's going on in front of the plate between manager and umpire, but it looks like Townsend is stepping up now. Harry has been ruled out, but for whatever reason, Owen's still on first base. It must have been, he must have fouled it off and it must have hit him on the foot, which would cause him to be out, or maybe he stepped on the ball somehow. Still not exactly sure what happened there, but we have 2 outs, and the runner does not advance. Townsend Stevenson check swings there, and it's going to be a fair, no, it's called foul now. He check swung at it, looked like it was going foul, and he didn't run on it, but usually you want to run on that kind of play. If you make any kind of contact, you want to dig it out just in case it ends up being fair, and it almost was there, but Hines touched it foul. So 0-1 count now on Stevenson. Owen still taking a short lead. Now he's going to steal. Will he get there in time? And he beats the throw by a mile. Slides in just for good measure. Throw was bobbled at second base, but picked up quickly. Certainly quickly enough to the point where Owen could not get to third base. Owen, what a base runner he is. I mean, really what an all-around player he is. He can pitch, he can make plays in the field, he can hit. And you just saw there, he's a speedy guy. He can get it onto the base paths as well. All-around great player. 1-1 count now for Townsend. And that ball almost hit him. We called a ball inside, 2-1 count now. And they tried to pick up a second. Owen was taking a big lead, so it was a good decision from the pitcher, but he didn't get him. Block back to second by a good margin. So now we have, once again, a 2-1 count. Owen still safe at second base, but his jersey is just a little bit dirtier after diving back to second. 2-1 pitch. Outside ball, and Owen, he did steal third base there. So now runner on third base, runner in solid scoring position with the cleanup hitter at the plate. We'll see if he can drive him in here with 2 outs. This is a setup for an exciting play here. We got a 3-1 count, hitters count, runner on third. What more could you want if you're a big hitter like Townsend? Here comes a 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 3-2 is the count now. So full count. A walk could still certainly happen here, but Townsend, you can tell he wants to swing here, taking some aggressive cuts before he steps back into the box. And Hines deals the 3-2 pitch, and that one nearly hit him. And it's going to be called strike 3. I can't believe that. That ball, it looked like it hit Townsend on the knee, but the umpire is calling it strike 3. So now that's the end of the first inning. USN failed to get any runs. Both USN and Zion look to be in prime scoring position. Neither of them can capitalize. And a debatable call, to say the least, on that strike 3. And Coach G might let him hear it now. No, he'll walk by the umpires. But I don't agree with that call at all. And obviously we don't have the view the umpires have. But that nearly hit him. I can't believe they called that a strike. What do you think about that, Kyle?
I mean, to be honest, at least from back here, it looked completely low right. It looked like it should not have been a strike in any way. But again, not as close as the umpires. Still think it was a shaky call, though.
Yeah, shaky call to say the least. And of course, we don't want to disagree with the umpires too much here. What they say goes, but that is certainly a call to be upset about. And you never like striking out looking. I mean, striking out alone is never something you want, but you usually want to go down swinging, so you know that's going to be in the back of Townsend's mind for the rest of this game, and that might motivate him to perform even better at the plate. Obviously, you can't really fault him for that, but you want to take every chance you can get, and hopefully next time up, he'll take that opportunity.
I really think that we might see big things from Owen coming up. I mean, you saw how hungry he was to get that run, so I think he's going to.
Yeah, he stole 2 bases to get to third base. You could tell he wanted it, and it was so close for him. And that should have been ball 4 right there. So it was just about to be a first and third situation with Nathan, a relatively reliable hitter, stepping up to the plate. And it was looking like USN was going to get at least 1 run out of there. But unfortunately, they did not. So now we head into the top of the 2nd inning. Graydon Frank's still on the mound. We'll see if he can continue that good run he had at the end of the 1st inning as we head into the 2nd. Stepping up to the plate now, number 42, Jackson Hughes, for Zion Christian. Grade comes set. First pitch fouled off. It was a high pitch, and he fouled it off into the softball field. Looks like we have the same defensive lineup for USN this inning. Doesn't seem to be any changes. Graydon, another one of these pitchers in the Tigers. We talked about this in the game before. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, or 0-1 pitch, fouled down the right field line. He's another one of these pitchers who, even when there's nobody on base, he doesn't like to pitch from the windup. He likes to go from the stretch, no matter what. Interesting choice from a lot of these players. It seems to be a common theme at USN, and maybe it's what the pitching coach tells them. But that's something unique about USN pitchers. 0-2 pitch, high, and it'll be ball number 1 as he decided not to swing at it. 1-2 count now for the first baseman. And the 1-2 pitch, that one driven to second base, and it's caught by Mahoney Donick. Out number 1. That ball, a line drive to second base usually seems like a pretty routine play, but that ball was really had some kind of spin on it, and it was dying quickly, and it was about to hit the ground. And that can be a tough short hop. Mahoney gets to it before it can hit the ground, doesn't even give him the opportunity to capitalize on a potential mistake. And that's the second put away he's had today at the second base position. So now Jacob Pewitt, number 7, steps into the box. That ball in the dirt, 1-0 count. Pewitt is the third baseman for Zion, and it's his first at bat of the day. And that pitch going to be called a strike. He did not swing at it. It looked a bit outside, but it's called a strike. We got a 1-1 count now. The 1-1 pitch hit the plate, went over Woodard at catcher, and it's 2-1. Graydon now from the stretch again. He comes set. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed high. 2-2 now. So Graydon fighting back in this count. Now he's got control of it. We'll see if he can put him away here. They'd love to say on this USN baseball team, throw him a chair to sit him down. Usually they hold up some kind of chair in the dugout, but they don't have one today. And that ball, it's going to be chopped right up the middle to Graydon Frank, and now he'll put it away with an underhand toss to Townsend Stevenson. So we didn't strike him out, but he did put him away there. We have 2 outs as he fielded that ground ball. And that's something you do in practice all the time. PFP, little chopper back to the pitcher, and he retires him easily. So Graydon so far has really found his groove. He was struggling early, and we said that he could be generating some momentum, and it seems like he does have some now. Got 2 outs and an 0-0 count. Ball right down the middle. He did not want to swing at it, but he probably should have, because that was about as perfect of a pitch as you're gonna get. 0-1 count now on Chris Claus. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High, a little bit outside. 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, chopped over in between second and short and third, and Owen Block, he came away with the ground ball, but he overthrew Townsend, and it got by him. Townsend, it wasn't an overthrow, it was a bit to the outside. Townsend, he tried to scoop it, but he couldn't do that while staying on the bag. Luckily, Will Meyer right there to back him up and keep him from running to second base, and now they're going to get a courtesy runner as Claus is the catcher. Not quite sure who that courtesy runner is, but we do have a runner on first base now with 2 outs. And you can't fault Graydon for that at all. Another great another great at-bat for him as a pitcher there. And he gave him a good pitch to hit, put it in play, but they kept it on the ground, unfortunately. And that's a tough throw to make for 0-2. You can't fault him too much for that. He's running one way, he's got to throw it the other. And the first pitch hits the dirt. Nathan gets in front of it in time, though, to keep the runner from going to second base. So we got a 1-0 count. Pitch swung on, driven into center field. Pop fly, and it's going to be caught by Harry Fitzgibbon. That's the inning. 3 outs. Solid put away there. Another solid end to the inning for Graydon Frank, and we still have a 0-0 ball game. So still no score. What do you think it's going to take for USN to get the first run of the game in this inning?
Well, I think if they can keep stealing the way they have been, then the runs will come. But if they can't get around those bases, then I might see another scoreless inning.
Yeah, and stealing it's a tough thing to do on a left-handed pitcher, especially at first base. But they've done it well so far, or at least Owen Block has. And we'll see if the next couple of hitters can. They got Nathan Woodard, who's the catcher. He'll get a courtesy runner if he does reach first base. And likely that courtesy runner, you usually want to have one of your fastest guys doing that. So likely to have a couple speedy runners on the base paths. Jeffrey Friedman, he's the third batter of the inning. I know he's got some speed. So we can see if they'll steal a bag or two this inning. I wouldn't count them out for that. And the lineup for this inning goes as follows. Nathan Woodard, the catcher, batting first. Colin France DHing. He's the second hitter of the inning. And then Jeffrey Friedman is the third. Graydon Frank will be the fourth. Colin France will be DHing for Will Meyer, the right fielder. France has played a little bit of first base this year. Of course, Townsend playing first base today. Usually, either he or Townsend will be on the mound, and the other will take first base. And if not, then one of them will be the DH. So 2 players who play the same position, and they both hit pretty well. So it's good to see him batting in this lineup once again. And they throw it down here to conclude their warm-up for this inning. Woodard steps up to the plate. If I'm correct, he's been the starting catcher his entire USN career, and this is going to be his last home game. He's had a solid USN career as a player, and he looks to conclude it tonight in solid fashion. And now he's got a chance to start that off as he steps up. It's USN's 5th bat of the day. Hines still on the mound for Zion. And he deals the first pitch. High and outside, 1-0 count. Pitch, and that one hits him on the back of his leg, and USN dugout erupting. They love to see a guy toughen it out and wear it, as they say. So he gets on first base, and now we're going to see a courtesy runner come on for him, as he is the catcher. Colin France takes a couple swings before he steps into the box. And he's still headed to the dugout. We're going to see who this pinch runner is, or this courtesy runner is going to be Brock Burgess. He is certainly a fast runner, but it is going to be dangerous here as they've got a left-handed pitcher. He's got a solid pickoff move, as we've seen so far, and he's almost gotten Owen Block twice. Or he hasn't necessarily almost gotten him, but he's tried to pick him off. He goes for a slide step there, and he throws a ball low and inside. Interesting to see a lefty elect to go with a slide step, because usually they'd like to kick that leg because, of course, if they do the leg kick, you still don't know whether they're going to kick off to first base or go home, but there he's kind of revealing what he's doing. And that time we got an inside strike, similar placement to the last one, but just a little bit closer to the plate. And we got a 1-1 count in France now. Brock this time taking a bit more of a dangerous lead. No pickoff yet, and now we have a 1-2 count as he swung at that one and missed it. Hines today kind of been all over the place in terms of where his pitches are. He's throwing them high, he's throwing them low, he's throwing them inside and outside. So not a lot of consistency. It's hard to read a pitcher like that. And now Brock's going to steal, and that one hit Collins, the second hit batter in a row. That one looked like it hurt worse than Nathan's, though, as it hit him. He's stumbling over to first base. Looked like it hit him on the lower part of his leg, maybe an ankle. It looks like he'll be fine. It looks like he can carry on running the bases, as now we've got runners on first and second as Jeffrey Friedman steps up to the plate. Will be interesting to see here if we have some kind of bunt play or some kind of bunt and steal, or maybe a fake bunt and steal. Coach G, a guy who loves to be aggressive on the base paths and a guy who loves to play small ball. So we'll see if we have some kind of play like that. What would you do here if you had 2 runners on? Would you pull any? And they do square around. Nobody steals there, so they've kind of shown their cards. Would you be looking to bunt or do some kind of steal play here, or would you just want to play it safe?
I think I would definitely bunt here. I mean, Colin France is incredibly fast. He's a multi-sport athlete, cross-country, basketball. He succeeded in all of those. I think he would be perfect to get them around right now. They could just bunt the ball.
Yeah, and Brock, another fast guy at second base, but that ball was fouled down the left field line, or not down the left field line, but on the left field side of foul territory, and it hit the third base dugout. So now we have an 0-2 count, no bunt here now, and he swings that one and misses it. So a 3-pitch strikeout, and we have our first out of this half of the inning for Zion. A pretty quick put away there, and it wasn't a bad at-bat by Jeffrey by any stretch of the imagination. He tried to bunt and he pulled back. Now Graydon Frank, pitcher, stepping into the box. Fouled one off, and then that's just a tough strike 3 there. And now he chops that one to third base, and it's going to get through the gap. Third baseman was running to defend Brock Burgess from getting home, and Brock Burgess will score. Colin will stay at second. Graydon gets to first. And the senior, the pitcher, showing up on senior night, both on the mound and in the batter's box, drives home a run, gets his first RBI of the day, and the dugout is absolutely loving it. Runners on first and second now with 1 out. Same position we were just in. He showed up in senior night in basketball, and he's showing up tonight so far. Runners on first and second, and Grant Riley takes that pitch, and looks like it's ball 1.
I was a little surprised to not see Colin run through the third. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think on that kind of play, you obviously can be daring on the base paths, but they got the 1 run they needed, and of course, they've only got 1 out. They don't need to do anything crazy, and now we got a courtesy runner coming for Graydon Frank. A little hard to tell who it is. But either way, courtesy runner on first base. Collins still at second. That ball inside pitch, and it's driven into left field by Grant Riley. Looks like they're going to try to score another. Colin France, he's going for home. The throw is going to they hold the throw, and another run scores for USN. It's 2-0. Another solid RBI, this time coming from a freshman right after a senior just got one. So people of all ages contributing to USN's success so far, and it's 2-0.
I guess that's why they didn't take the risky play with Colin. Didn't need to.
Yeah, they knew he could get home, I guess. And another solid drive into left field. Two hits in a row right into the left field. So looks like Hines might want to stop throwing that ball inside because clearly the Tigers hitters can pull it. Mahoney Donick now back to the top of the lineup, and that's a ball low and inside. So first bat of the day, Mahoney at the plate once again, and we got a 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, and they're going to steal both bases, and there's really no play there. The catcher, he thought about throwing it, but looks like by the time he realized they were stealing, they were pretty much there. He didn't have a great read on it, and it didn't seem like the infield was calling out that there was a steal. So now two runners in scoring position as we got him on second and third, and the leadoff hitter is here to drive him home. He swings that one, and it's driven into left center field. Center fielder will make the catch, but he's going to tag up, and that'll be a comfortable third run of the day. Wasn't a play on it at all at the plate, so USN scoring their third run of the day, increasing their lead even further, and that's just a solid inning so far. We've got 2 outs, but looks like we can still get some more runs as Grant Riley is at second base. Now that Owen Block steps up to the plate, he's certainly a guy who could drive him in. And obviously, they just gotten out there, but that's a solid sacrifice fly from Mahoney Donick, and we got a solid number 2 hitter stepping up to the plate now. And they pick up to second base. Grant decided not to dive, and that made it a closer play than it really needed to be, but he gets there in time, and he will be safe. Pitch high, 2-0 count. 1-0 actually, my apologies. And a third pitch. And that one's going to go foul. We got a 1-1 count. And they try to pick off to second base again, but there's nobody home in terms of the middle infielders. So Grant, he feels like he can take an even bigger lead now as they try to pick off, but there was nothing really there. So the 1-1 pitch now to Owen. Swung on, fly ball in between first base and right field. It'll be caught by the first baseman. That's the end of the inning, but 3 solid runs for USN so far. What do you think? What do you think about USN's performance so far today?
Well, as I was saying earlier, the key to scoring was in the stealing, which they performed excellently at this, and I think that's what put them in such a great position.
Yeah, base running always key for a successful offense in this sport, and USN done it well so far, at least in that inning. So far for the seniors tonight, solid senior night. Graydon Frank, he's getting some quality outs on the mound. He gets the RBI and single. Nathan Woodard, not the most eventful of appearances at the plate, but he got walked, or he got hit, resulting in a walk. So far a good day for the seniors, and we'll see if they can continue it. We haven't seen anything out of Will Meyer, of course, because no ball has been hit to right field yet. But so far, every senior in the field has made some solid contributions, and that's a great way to go out on your last day playing a home game at the River Campus. And we're set to start the third inning here. Graydon Frank to deliver the first pitch. And the first ball there, and he fouls that one off. 1-1 now from Max Brown, the second hitter for Zion today. 1-1 count for number 5, Max Brown. Graydon set to deal the 1-1 pitch. That one swung on and missed. It was a high pitch, but he got him to chase it. 1-2 count now. And now the shortstop, Max Brown. A bit of a hole here. He had him 1-0, and now he's down 1-2. We'll see if he can claw back in this count. 1-2 pitch swung on, missed, strike 3, and now they're going to throw it around. Solid put away from Graydon Frank, and he did throw him a chair there. 1 out. Cade Montgomery stepping into the box. He's the center fielder for Zion today. That one hit the plate. And he's a shorter batter, so it's going to be tough pitching to him, especially when you're a tall guy like Graydon Frank. So it's a 1-0 count now. It's tough to throw down to a guy. And that's what he's got to do here. And he's certainly not making it easy for him, crouching in the batter's box, getting low. And he grounds that one to third base. Brent Riley will try to put him away, and he does. Townsend Stevenson reaches out and makes the grab. 2 outs now. It's always helpful to have a taller first baseman like Townsend to be able to get a throw like that, and that's just what happened there. We got 2 outs. Wyatt Hines, the pitcher now, stepping into the box. That one, he watched it go by, and it went outside, 1-0. Or apologies, we had the lineup wrong. This is Max Brown at the plate now. That ball high and outside, 2-0 count now for Brown. And 2-0 pitch. It's going to be a pop fly in the infield. Grant Riley getting under it. And he'll make the catch. Second put away of the inning for him. And that is the conclusion of this half of the inning. 3 up, 3 down for USN. Solid way to start and finish an inning. And they now go back to the plate with some serious momentum. And I bet you they have some confidence they can go put some more runs on the board. And Harry Fitzgibbon now stepping in the box to open up this bottom half of the inning. He swings and misses at that one. We got an 0-1 count on the sophomore. Second pitch swung on and missed. 0-2 now. And he's in a bit of a hole here. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, and that one hit him in the head. That is not a good way to finish a count for the pitcher. He had him 0-2, threw that ball way too high and way too inside. And now Harry, who is dealing with an 0-2 count, is now on first base. Townsend Stevenson, the first baseman, he's made a couple good catches today. He now steps up into the box, cleanup hitter. He's got one runner on first base and no outs. First pitch swung on and popped up into the gap between second and right. That one caught by the second baseman, and that's the first out of the inning. Senior Nathan Woodard now, the catcher, stepping into the box. Second at bat of the day, he was hit by a pitch earlier, and now he gets another chance at the plate. Runner on first base, still 1 out. And the first pitch, he watches it go by. It was a ball. They threw it back to first base, couldn't get him. They thought they had Harry, getting a little too aggressive on the base paths there, but he was there with plenty of time, and he dove, got back to the bag safely. So now we have a 1-0 count for Nathan. 1-0 pitch, swung on. It'll be a foul ball. First baseman trying to get to it, and it just goes over the fence. 1-1. Stares down the runner, but he deals to home, and he hits Nathan again. That's the second time he's been hit today. That's the fourth hit batter for Hines on the hill today. Obviously not a stat you want to have 4 of, but he's got it. Nathan Woodard, second time today being hit. You got to imagine that his left leg is a bit painful because it was the same spot this time as it was the last. And now Brock Burgess once again is headed out to first base to take his place. We got a meeting on the mound now. Looks like we're going to see a new pitcher. You got to imagine. We might not see a new pitcher. It looks like they're just talking to him. They haven't called anybody in yet, and I haven't seen anybody warming up in the bullpen. But you got to imagine they're going to start getting a replacement ready soon. Because unless they're low on arms, you can't keep having a guy who's hit 4 batters continue to pitch for you. Do you think you'd put a new pitcher in here if you were in this situation? You have nobody warmed up, but your current pitcher has hit 2 batters in a row, and you got 1 out, 2 runners on. He's struggling. Would you put a new pitcher on, or would you stick with the guy?
I would definitely. I mean, he's been hitting batters, and he's let up 3 runs under his command, and I think it definitely is time for a new pitcher, but I'm surprised we haven't seen one yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early in the game, 3rd inning, but he has been struggling so far. We got runners on first and second now, and Colin France at the plate. Swung at that one. That one goes into left field. Will be caught, though, and now they're going to have to run back to their respective bases. 2 outs now. Looked a solid drive from Colin, but it did go. It was only a few steps that the left fielder had to roam in order to come down with that catch. So runners remain at first and second, and now Jeffrey Friedman at the plate once again. First pitch of the at-bat. High, but it's called a strike. The umpire thought about that one for a second, but he was confident enough to call that one a strike. 0-1 count now for Jeffrey. I don't blame him. I don't know if I would have swung at that one. It's a little high, and obviously every guy likes their pitches in different spots. He's obviously not a high ball hitter, as you can tell from there. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, grounded over to third base, and he struggled to get there. Shortstop comes up with it, but 2 runners will advance, and Jeffrey will get there safely. The third baseman is trying to cover third in order to be there for a play, as there were runners on first and second. And there was the threat of him advancing bases to third, and now we've got bases loaded for the pitcher, Graydon Frank, who's got 1 RBI on the day as he steps up to the plate.
Incredible to see him hit one on senior night.
That would be a fantastic thing to see. If we could see a grand slam from the guy who usually only plays pitcher, or even just a solid single to drive a few runners home, that'd be fantastic. That one swung on, and it's ripped into the gap in the outfield, and that will score at least 1 run. They're going to get another 5-0 to score now. Graydon Frank, 3rd RBI of the day, and what a senior day he's having. Runners on first and second now. We got 2 outs, but 2 more runs score. 5-0 Tigers.
You can't really ask for a much better way to end your senior season at the River campus. I mean, playing lights out baseball, it's got to feel good.
Yeah, contributing both on the mound and at bat. You love to see it from a guy who's done so much for this program. He's been with the team for so long, and it's great to see him contributing his last time out. Grant Riley now at the plate. He got an RBI his last time up. That one low and outside, 1-0.
I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed with these freshmen lately.
Yeah, the freshmen, every young player on the team has contributed so well, both the sophomores and the freshmen. And really, the sophomores this year, you can honestly call them freshmen as they only played 2-3 games last year in their true freshman seasons. So lots of young contributions on this USN team. And the freshmen, both Donick and Riley, have really showed up. Looks like we got a 2-0 count here on Riley. Swings that one. That one is ripped into left field. It's going to go over the left fielder's head. It's going to hit the fence now. 1 run scores. They're not going to get another as they get the ball into the infield as the runner gets to third base. But it's 6-0 USN now. And that ball had some serious air under it. Wasn't quite enough to go over the 315 fence. But it got pretty close. 2 hops and it was there.
I mean, speak of the devil.
Yeah, you were just talking about a potential home run from Graydon Frank, and we almost saw one there from Grant Riley, and now another freshman, Mahoney Donick, the second baseman, will step up to the plate with 2 outs and runners on second and third. That one almost hit him. That was almost the 5th hit batter of the day. And I'm still surprised we haven't seen anybody warming up so far for Zion, but we got a 1-0 count.
I feel like if he hits a 5th pitcher, he's definitely out.
He's got to be. You can't imagine he won't be, but you never know. This team, they got a short staff. They haven't got a lot of guys in their dugout, not a lot of subs. So they could be running low on arms. That ball popped up into the gap between second and right field, and there was a miscommunication, but the second baseman comes down with it. So we end the inning 6-0. Looked like there was potential for a serious miscommunication, a mistake there for Zion, a potential collision between the 2 players. But they come away with the out. Lucky to get it and lucky to keep those runners on second and third from advancing, but still a solid inning. Another 3-run inning for USN to extend their lead to 6-0.
I was almost positive they were going to collide and the ball was going to drop and USN was going to have 3 more on the scoreboard.
I feel the same way there. I really thought they were going to be able to capitalize on that, and you really could get, I mean, the ball wasn't too far from the infield, but if they collide and there's nobody there to pick it up, you could really easily get 2 runs out of that. So we could be looking at an 8-0 ball game if they take 1 wrong step there. But unfortunately for us, unfortunately for them, it doesn't happen, and it's still 6-0. Still a score you can't complain about if you're USN. 6-0, you'll take that any day of the week. And they're happy with it right now, you got to imagine. Top of the 4th inning, about to start. Graydon Frank still on the mound. Not quite sure he's going to come in to be his replacement if he needs it later on. Could be another senior in potentially Wyatt Washko, or who knows, maybe even Nathan Woodard. He's pitched a little bit in his time as a Tiger. Or maybe they'll go to a younger arm, but it would be nice to see another senior pitch if Graydon does run out of pitches and his pitch count gets a little too high. But so far, that's not too big of a concern, as the first pitch this inning, low in the dirt, 1-0 count for the senior now.
Something I've been incredibly impressed with has been Harry's command in the outfield. He's really taken a leadership role, it feels like.
Yeah, he's a young player, but he's certainly got command of this outfield. He's playing center field today, and second pitch, it'll be 2-0 now as that ball's high. He's certainly a young leader on this team, you can imagine. His brother Liam Fitzgibbon, he was certainly a leader in his time as a USN Tiger, so he seems to be filling in that number 7 role, both on the jersey and in his personality. Owen Block now sliding for a ball on second shortstop. Grounder went to him. It was a little closer to second base than where he was. He had to slide to get it. On the transfer, he bobbled it, and it fell on the ground. So now Cade Montgomery gets the first base, and the pitcher, Wyatt Hines, the lefty, steps into the box. First pitch swung on, hit into right field. Will Meyer, and he knocks that one down and took a hop before it got to him. He'll get it into the infield now. and he'll keep the runner from advancing to third base. Runner advances to second, but now we got guys on first and second. Not too much damage done there, and Harry Fitzgibbon has just informed us, I don't know if you could hear or not, that Hugh Greenfield just jinxed the no-hitter, and he's been kicked out of the dugout. That's a pretty funny occurrence for USN. I didn't even realize there was a no-hitter going on here, but now that I think about it, the only real runners they had were from walks earlier. So I said earlier we were hoping to see a play from Will Meyer. He wasn't able to come up with a crazy diving catch there, but he knocked the ball down, kept the damage from being too bad, and we've only got runners on first and second here. Still no outs, but not the ideal position, but nothing too bad, nothing to worry about. And the first pitch of that count is a strike right down the middle to Jackson Hughes. We got an 0-1 count now. And he squares around a bunt. We'll see if he lays one down. He pulls it back because that ball was in the dirt, and they're going to advance bases here. So no outs, runners on second and third. Frank in a bit of a trickier position than he was earlier, and a little bit more adversity. He had some adversity in the first inning, and this is the first real adversity he's felt since then. And we'll see how he bounces back to it. Obviously not an ideal position. You're likely to give up a run or two here as you've got two runners in scoring position and no outs. But obviously anything can happen, and we'll see what happens here in the coming plays. 1-1 count. That ball way high. 2-1 now. So we can see an arm getting loose in the bullpen. Looks like it's Wyatt Washko, one of the star arms on this team. He usually was a starting pitcher for years, and now he's coming in as a reliever, it seems. And that ball, another high ball, but it's swung on and missed. 2-2 count now. So it's good to see another senior getting in here at senior day, or senior night, whatever you want to call it. Senior afternoon, really. And we got runners on second and third still. 2-2 count for Jackson Hughes. The 2-2 pitch swung on and hit into foul territory. Pretty close to the USN bullpen. Still a 2-2 count. Graydon comes set. He deals the 2-2. Strike three. That ball, Hughes turned his back to home plate, looking like he was about to get hit. But a similar situation to what happened to Townsend there, inside pitch, but it was called for strike three, so we got one out now. Runners on second and third still. First strike of the at-bat there for Jacob Pewitt, apologies. Swung at that one and missed. It's solid pitch from Graydon. We got an 0-1 count. Here's the 0-1. Popped up into the infield, but no, it'll be foul. It'll go behind the backstop over the netting. We got an 0-2 count now. Oh-2 count, one out. We were talking about it. This isn't an ideal position to have no outs and runners on second and third, but now he's got a good count and one out, so it may not be as bad as we initially thought. That ball, and I really seem to jinx it there, as that ball goes into right center field, and they might score two on it. Townsend Stevens picks that up in front of the mound. They will score two, so a bit of a commentator's curse there, and I'm sorry to USN Baseball for that. Zion gets their first two runs of the day there from that solid line drive from Jacob Pewitt. Right in the gap, about as perfectly placed of a ball as you could have. And it's 6-2 now. First pitch of that at bat, chopped over to shortstop. Owen underhands at second base. Can they turn two? And they do! Double play! Owen block. He flipped it to Mahoney Donick at second base. Mahoney retires him at first. They get the two outs at the end of the inning, so still 2 runs for Zion, but a solid put away to end it there for USN. What do you make of that double play?
And that was just incredible. Everything about it was perfect. I mean, Owen and Mahoney, we've been talking about them the entire game, and they continue to show up every time.
Yeah, we've been talking about the young production on this team. That's another great example of it. 2 young middle infielders doing the job and doing the job well. Great to see from the second baseman and the shortstop. So Wyatt Hines still on the mound here, warming up for Zion. Interesting choice. Again, still haven't seen anybody go to that Zion bullpen and warm up. So you got to imagine they might be sticking with him all game. They might be low on arms, as this is the end of the week. They could have had a couple games. And this isn't a super deep roster. They've only got 12 players on the team. So not a lot of subs to go to. And if you've got somebody who's performing in the field, you don't want him to lose that position and have to go pitch. So it's a tricky situation for Zion, I have to imagine, with a pitcher who's not quite super accurate, and multiple times he's gotten himself in good counts and he's thrown it all away by hitting a batter. But not a whole lot you can do, it seems. Doesn't appear to be any changes in the Zion defense here. I don't see any new players coming in that weren't in the lineup before, and you got to imagine that they haven't got many options. And I apologize, they don't have 12 players. They only have 11 players, 2 subs on the bench. And obviously not sure the quality of those subs. So we may see these 9 play the entire game. And they throw the ball down to end the warm-ups for the inning. And now Owen Block will step up to the plate to lead off for the Tigers this inning. Owen digs in here, ready to start this at bat, hoping he won't get hit. He's had to slide a couple times today, but not too much potential for injury. He tries to bunt there, and he doesn't make contact with it. He was running out of the box before he bunted it. If he made contact there, it might have been ruled him out because it looked like he was outside of the box when the pitch crossed the home plate there. He does have speed, so and there's strike 2, low and inside. I didn't agree with that call at all. I didn't like that one bit. It was a low strike 2 and an inside one. That one was at his knees, it seemed. So obviously we're not going to see a bunt here as he's got 2 strikes on him. You don't want to foul out here. And he swings that one, and it's caught and then dropped by the third baseman. Can he get some time? And he beats the throw, and there is no throw. He got there in time. It was a line drive so hard it hit the third baseman's glove, and he was unable to come down with it, so he gets the first base. Will be ruled as an error, but you got to give him credit for, one, putting the ball in play and doing it with such force to force the error and get to first base. Harry Fitzgibbon now, the center fielder, steps up to the plate. Runner on first. He's tried to pick Owen off today so far. It hasn't worked, and there's the first pitch to the at-bat. And can't quite see the signal from the umpire. It looked like a strike to me, but I haven't seen anything. My view was blocked by the second baseman. It is a ball, so 1-0 count now for Harry. And he deals. He squares around a bunt, and it'll be a foul ball. He got one down. It was nice down the third base line, but it was just foul. So now we have a 1-1 count. My guess would be they're not going to bunt again, just because now that they've shown them their intentions to bunt. So far, they seem to square around on the first pitch or the second pitch, and then after that, not do it again. So I'd imagine they're going to give Harry the green light to swing here, but you never know. Coach G is a bunting coach. He loves to do it, so we might see another bunt and steal. The 1-1 pitch, and they are going to do a bunt and steal. He pulls back because that was a high ball, and Owen will get to second base standing up. 3rd stolen base of the day. Solid stats from Owen Block, the sophomore, and he continues to get those. Every day you look at his stat line, and it's something impressive. And he gets his 3rd steal of the day there. He squared around a bunt. Pitch was too high to lay down a solid bunt. He pulled back, and there was no trouble getting to second base. So now 2-1 count, runner on second, no outs. Another ball high, 3-1 now, and Harry is really ahead in this count now. Probably going to see a fastball, probably down the middle here on this 3-1 count. We'll see what he can do with it. The 3-1 pitch, high and outside, ball 4. Runners on first and second now as the cleanup hitter Townsend Stevenson steps up to the plate. Two men on, one on first, one on second. And he squares around a bunt. I can't imagine he's going to lay one down. They did it just to steal. Owen gets to third base with plenty of time. Ball goes over his head. He's going to go home now. And it's bobbled by the left fielder. They're going to advance to third base. Harry gets there sliding. So another run scored for USN on a steal and then an error. 7-2 the score now, and they advance to third base. So another runner in scoring position with no outs for Townsend. And they get a run to boot. You got to imagine Townsend loves being in this position as the cleanup hitter with someone on third and no outs. We'll see if he can get an RBI here. You can tell he's hungry for one. That ball low, and it bounced and hit him. And he's going to get to go to first base. You could tell he wanted to hit there, but he won't really complain about that one, I can't imagine. It's not going to hurt too bad as it hit the ground before it hit him. And he gets to first base. You love to get on base, and now we got runners on first and third for Nathan.
It's 5 hit players.
That is 5 hit batters for Wyatt Hines. We said earlier if he hits a 5th, you got to imagine they're going to take him out. Looks like we were wrong about that because he did hit a 5th, and he is still in this game. So, interesting call from the Zion coach here. And we can see Will Meyer in the batter's box, or in the on-deck circle. Townsend's going to steal second now. Not something you see every day, and they fake the throw down. He gets to second easily. So runners on second and third now, no outs. And as I said, Will Meyer in the on-deck circle, another senior looking to make an impact today. He's been DH'd for by Colin France. Not quite sure what the substitution rule is on DHs and the players for whom they're DHing, but Will Meyer is about to get a plate appearance here. That one almost hit him. That was almost his 6th hit batter of the day, but it'll be called a ball inside. Looks like we got 3-0 now.
I have to imagine that if they had anybody else they could put in right now, they would. But if he hits 6, one of the other players might need to step in.
Seriously, and he almost did there. They're going to try to steal home. And they do. He doesn't slide. Interesting call. Townsend gets over to third base. Harry scores. 8-2 for USN. So that's another, and I apologize, it was a 2-0 count there. So now we have a 3-0 count. And yeah, you got to imagine they probably don't have anybody else on the pitching staff to take his place. He's probably the best of a few options, you got to imagine, because if a guy continues to hit batters and not have the accuracy you need, why would you keep him in? And now they go have a meeting at the mound. So, of course, we don't have a roster on Zion of who pitches for them. We've only got who's in the field today. We don't know who exactly their pitchers are or what their pitch counts are. So we can't exactly make a prediction or a call on what's going to happen here. But now the manager walks back to the dugout. We got a 3-0 count and no outs. Woodard at the plate. Hines will remain the pitcher, to our shock. And Nathan's just praying he doesn't get hit here, because it would be his 3rd time today, and it's on a 3-0 count too. So he would get walked if there was anything but a strike. And that one, it did hit him.
God.
3rd hit by pitch of the day for Nathan Woodard at the plate. Not a good day for him in terms of his pain in his legs. That one hit him in the foot. He's got hit in his left leg twice. That one hit him on his left foot. One of his feet, probably his left foot. You got to imagine he's going to be icing that leg tonight. And now they've got the whole infield coming in for a pitching change. It looks like some kind of meeting at the mound. We might see a pitching change. This might just be a strategic meeting. But either way, they've got to come out of this with a solution, because it's 8-2, runner on first base and no outs. They are in a serious predicament, and they need to find an answer quickly.
It looked like Nathan was smiling as he was running to first base, looking at the dugout. I think he's still in good spirits.
Yeah, because what else can you really do there? It's such bad luck that's happened. All you can really do is just smile it off, I guess. And of course the dugout loves it. They love to see somebody get on base, and they always, if a player is about to get hit and he dodges it, they're always yelling, "Wear it." And he's worn it 3 times tonight. And now we're going to see a pitching change. Dylan Runyons, who was the second baseman, will come into pitch now. We'll see how he pitches, and we can try and guess if he's a regular pitcher or not.
It does not appear so.
Yeah, it looks like he may not be a pitcher. I don't want to sound rude here on this broadcast, but the first pitch, he's got an interesting windup. Not really sure how I can describe this. He lifts his leg, and he seems to lean back a little bit, almost like he's going to throw a punch or something. He kind of has I would call it maybe cartoony delivery. Not really sure how to describe this, but the second baseman, he's certainly got an interesting delivery, to say the least. And so far, all of his pitches have been high and or outside. So we might see some more hit batters, we might see some more walks, and it could be a long inning for Zion. It already is a long inning. It could be an even longer one.
It looks like as he's throwing the ball, he's releasing it just incredibly high, which is part of his windup. He's reaching behind his head too much.
Yeah, he seems to be.
High.
He looks like. I don't want to. I don't want to make this sound rude, but it looks like when you see videos or pictures of people playing baseball in like the 1910s or so, you'll see their windups. Their leg kick is super high and they're really lean back. His leg kick is sort of high, I guess, but he has this sort of lean back with the way he delivers the ball. Something I haven't seen in a long time watching baseball. And he seems, when he lifts his leg, he still has the ball in his hand and in his glove, and he dips his throwing hand and his glove down. So an interesting delivery, to say the least. That's all we can really say about it. And now Will Meyer steps into the box for the first time today. Like I said, Colin France was DHing for him. Now he is apparently no longer the designated hitter, as Will Meyer, the senior, steps into the box. Will Meyer is a golfer. He knows a thing or two about hitting a ball. That ball is going to be high. He knows a thing or two about hitting a ball and hitting it far. So we'll see if that'll translate here tonight, at least, for Meyer at the plate. Runners on first and third. 1-0 count. They're going to steal, and they're not going to go home. They could have scored there, as there was confusion as to where the ball went. It ended up going to the first base side of the backstop. Catcher got to it in time, though. And Townsend, with all due respect, he's not the fastest player in the team. So on a potentially risky play, you got to imagine if that was Mahoney or Owen, we got another run. But of course, it's always good to stay safe. We've got no outs. We got 2 runners in scoring position. Plenty of opportunity to get those runs to score. There's ball 3. That one bounced into the catcher's glove. So Will Meyer, he's probably going to take this here. You don't usually want to swing at a 3-0 count. So you would imagine he wants to get a hit here on senior night, but he may not get the chance. And I'm sure he won't complain if he gets walked. You always love to help your team out any way possible, and a walk certainly does that. Swung and missed there. That one was a bit outside. That probably would have been ball 4 if he hadn't decided to pull the trigger. But you can tell he wants to get a hit here. He showed it there. So now we have a 3-1 count. Hitters count still. And the 3-1 pitch swung on. And he swung at that one and missed it again. 3-2 now. So he was 3-0. Now he's got a full count, so he's now in a bit more of a dangerous position. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, and that one is popped up to third base in foul territory. It's caught for the first out of the inning. Unfortunate end of the at-bat for Will Meyer. But he did add a few more pitches to that pitcher's pitch count with those strikes and the foul ball at the end. So we do have 1 out, but still runners on second and third, and Jeffrey Friedman are reliable hitters at the plate. Ball outside, 1-0.
It's weird that his pitches are going low and outside when in warm-ups they're kind of going high and inside.
Yeah, he had a couple of those low pitches in warm-ups, and that ball swung and missed 1-1. But most of his pitches were down the middle but high for the most part. So now we have a 1-1 count on Jeffrey. Two-1 now. That ball was a bit outside, maybe. I thought it could have been a strike. The umpire didn't agree. 2-1 is the count on Jeffrey. I'm certainly not complaining about the call. Swung on and driven into center field. And he's going to have to go for it. He dives and makes the play. So now Townsend will tag up and he'll get that run. So a solid sac fly from Jeffrey. And we have a 9-2 ball game now. And it's the 4th inning, and we've got 2 outs. But USN could actually put this game away now. It's a 7-run game. If they get a couple more runs, ball game could be over soon.
How many is a mercy rule in USN baseball?
It depends. It does depend on what the inning is, and we had the rule written down earlier. I forget what it is. I think in 4 innings it's got to be a large deficit, about either 15 or 12 runs. So it still would take a solid effort for USN. They need to get a decent amount more, but they've shown they can do it. Now Graydon Frank's got 3 RBI. He's at the plate, swings that one, and it will go into the parking lot. Something like it hit somebody's car. That's unfortunate. Oh, 1 count after that foul ball. Graydon Frank at the plate. Swings that one, chops it to third base, or over to shortstop. Can he beat the throw? The throw bounces, and he gets there in time.
Let's go.
Not quite sure if that'll be scored as a hit or an error, as he did beat the throw out. But it was a far from perfect throw from the shortstop. Bounced into the first baseman's glove. But so far, Graydon has 3 hits. He's 3 for 3 today. 3 RBI, 3 hits, and he got to first base there again. So great day for the senior, both on the mound and at the plate. We keep making that point, and he keeps proving us right. Now Grant Riley, the freshman, who's had some solid contributions today, he steps up to the plate. Runners on first and third. 2 outs. Swung on, fouled. Hits the chain link fence behind home plate. A 1 count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside, ball 1. We haven't seen a steal here. I would think we would see one in this first and third situation. It wouldn't be disrespectful to do that. It's not running up the score. It's still a ball game. It's only a 7-run deficit. Now we do see a steal. That ball in the dirt. Gets behind the catcher, and Brock thought about going home. He decided against it. The ball, it looked like it was a great ball to try to steal home on, but it bounced off the bounce bat, off the backstop, and it put it in an advantageous position for the catcher. So good decision from Brock to stay home. So now 2 runners in scoring position on second and third for the 9th hitter, Grant Riley. That ball outside. We got a 3-1 count now. 3-1 is your best friend as a hitter, and we'll see if it'll work out here for Grant. Swings that one, and it'll go into center field, and that's the 3rd out. It was a low fly ball. You could probably call it a line drive, and it was really close to hitting the ground, but he made a sliding catch. Not quite sure if the slide was necessary, but he came down with it regardless. So 2 runs left on second and third base, and we go into the 5th inning with the USN lead of 9-2. Headed into the 5th inning here, top of the 5th. Graydon Frank's still pitching for the Tigers. He's having a strong night. And the first pitch of this at-bat, Grounded over to shortstop. Owen blocked now. Fields a tough grounder. Gets it to first base. And Townsend had to stretch for that one, but he made the catch. First out of the inning. 1 out now. Athletic play at first base from Stevenson. He had to really reach and go get that one, but he did. And now Zion is dealing with 1 out.
Townsend's been the definition of a reliable first baseman this entire game.
Yeah, he's really done the job so far. Only 1 ball has gotten by, but you couldn't really fault him for that. And he's made some serious stretches and some good scoops at first base, really getting the job done so far. First pitch of that at-bat goes low in the dirt. So Colin Kennedy at the plate now. He's got a 1-0 count. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Right down the middle, strike 1. That's another one of those pitches. If I was at the plate, I don't know why I would be watching that one go by. That's a perfect pitch to hit. But Kennedy apparently did not agree, so it's 1-1. Swung on and missed. That ball was bounced before it got to home plate. It was low inside, and it hit the dirt, but he swung at it. Interesting choice by Kennedy to not swing at the one earlier, but he took a hack at that one. Not quite sure what's going on in his head there, but he's got himself in a 1-2 count now. The 1-2 pitch. That one looked like it could have been a strike. Nathan tried to frame it, but it wasn't perfect, so he's got a 2-2 count now. That one could have been a low and outside strike 3. Could have hit the corner of the strike zone, but the umpire did not see it that way. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch from number 22, Graydon Frank, in the dirt. So now we have a full count. That one, Nathan had to block that one. Had to scoop it out of the dirt. So we have a full count, 3-2 now for Kennedy to deal with. He's got 1 out and no runners on base. That ball in the dirt, and it will be ball 4. So they do get that first runner on base, and now we're back to the top of the lineup with the new pitcher, Dylan Runyons. He was playing second base earlier, and now he's pitching. He's got a runner on first base with 1 out. First pitch, high. That one probably would have been in the strike zone for most hitters, but like we've said before, Runyon's a shorter player, and he really gets in a low stance when he's hitting, making it really hard for a tall guy like Graydon to pitch to him. So this is going to be a tough at-bat for Graydon. That one hit the strike zone, though. Inside, very well-placed pitch. You got to hand it to him there. We got a 1-1 count. 1-1 pitch. That one didn't look like a strike to me, but that's a small strike zone he's throwing to, so the umpire might be a little more generous. We have 1-2 now, as that was a top left-hand corner strike, and now Nathan goes out to talk with Graydon at the mound. Not quite sure why. He's thrown 2 strikes in a row here, and the meeting concludes. Woodard heads back behind the plate, and Frank back to the mound. Graydon comes set here. The 1-2 pitch, and it's right up the middle to Graydon. He goes to second base, bounces it over to Owen, and they can't turn 2 here as the throw from Graydon wasn't perfect, but he got the out anyway. They got the out they needed. So they got 2 outs now, only a runner on first base. They got the lead runner. Couldn't quite put the inning away. And now Max Brown steps up to the plate.
Did the ball get caught up in Graydon's glove?
I'm not quite sure. That's definitely a possibility, as, you know, usually you're going to see a more accurate throw from Graydon there, especially considering the way he's been pitching tonight. And I kind of jinxed him there as he threw a high ball. Nathan had to stand all the way up for that one. So 1-0 now is the count on Max Brown. But props to Owen, once again, to come up with that catch. Not an easy catch to make. And now they're going to steal second. Nathan going to try to throw him down. Throw is almost there in time, but the runner was just too fast. So runner on second now with 2 outs. Solid job by Runyons to get to second base. Interesting that they haven't put in a pinch runner here since he's pitching. Maybe it's just because I mean, you can tell there from the way he stole second base. He is a fast runner. He's a weapon on the base paths, but usually you don't want to have your pitcher using up all of his energy base running. Third ball, the count right there for Graydon. That one was high and outside. We got 3-0 on Brown here. Can't imagine he's going to swing at this one here, especially since they've got 2 outs. Doesn't want to put himself in a bad situation, even if the pitch is perfect. Pitch was pretty close to perfect, and it's a 3-1 count now. But I don't blame him for not swinging. The pitch wasn't right down the middle, and you usually, like I said, you don't want to swing at that 3-0 pitch. So you can't really fault him for that, but now he's got 3-1. Still a hitter's count, but certainly not as good as 3-0. The 3-1 pitch. Watch that one go by, and it's 3-2 now. Similar situation to Meyer earlier for USN in the inning. He was up 3-0, and then he got himself into a 3-2 hole. Let's see if Graydon does what Hines did and potentially puts him away. And he steps off, tries to catch Runyon's napping at second base, but there was nobody home to pick off to. A little bit of lack of communication between the middle infielders, but it seems like the runner is not of their greatest concern here, as they got a 3-2 count, potentially end the inning here. The 3-2 pitch, and that's strike 3. Wow, he watched that one go by. It was an outside pitch. I don't blame him for not swinging, but it was right on the edge of the strike zone. Graydon Frank puts him away, and another solid pitching inning for Graydon. What a senior day he's having. And I mean, what can you really say about Graydon's performance today? It's really everything you would want in a senior day. What do you have to say about it, Kyle?
I mean, this just actually has to be an amazing feeling for not only him, but the entire team. To see someone you've been with, some people for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years. Some kids just played with him this year. But, I mean, I feel like everyone in that dugout is sharing joy in Graydon's performance right now.
And you got to imagine Coach G is one of the happiest here. One of the players who's been coaching for a long time, or he's really been coaching all these seniors for a while, but Graydon, he's been on the pitching staff, and he's done a solid job all 4 of his years at USN, and now it's really coming together on senior day. Fantastic sight to see.
When you played on the baseball team, was Graydon pitching?
Yeah, he did pitch. He was more of a reliever. He started now and then, but he was a solid pitcher at that point. Obviously, we didn't get to see him last year, or we saw him, I think, once or twice, but it was a shortened season, so not much to look back on last year. But yeah, he's been a solid pitcher his entire time here, and it's great to see it all come together at his last game. About to start the bottom of the 5th here. Leadoff batter Mahoney Donick stepping up to the plate. First pitch of his at bat, high and inside, 0-1 count. He hasn't gotten a hit so far today, but he does have an RBI. He's looking to get on base for the first time today in his 4th at bat. 1-0 count here early on for Donick. 1-0 pitch high. Once again, high and inside. It's going to be 2-0 here. And Runyon still struggling on the mound, struggling to find that strike zone consistently here in the first couple pitches. Now, another high and inside pitch. That one a little closer to the front of the plate, but catcher still had to go up for it. So it's 3-0 now. Got to imagine Donick's going to take this pitch here.
I mean, this is exactly what we were seeing in warm-ups. This is the pitching we saw, except for that one.
Yeah, there's a low ball there. So ball 4 still. A ball 4 is a ball 4, but not the same one we had seen before. So he gets a 4-pitch walk, and now stepping up to the plate, center fielder Harry Fitzgibbon, the sophomore. But yeah, Runyon's, this is exactly what we had seen warming up. He was struggling to find the strike zone, and he's struggling to do it in the game so far. That ball outside, and it was in prime position for the catcher to try to throw Mahoney out at first base, but he decided against it, likely because on a play like that, you never want to risk allowing a fast runner like him to pick up 1 or potentially 2 more bases. That ball, inside and high, it almost hit Owen. Would hit him in the head. Dugout calling for him to wear it. But you're up so big in a game like this, you don't need to risk any kind of injury. And who knows, he might get hit again in this at bat, as he's got a 2-0 count. There's strike 1, though. That one was kind of a loft into home plate, but it landed at a decent height, and it was a bit outside, but still in the strike zone. The 2-1 pitch. Another high pitch, 3-1. And you can't quite call what he's throwing an eephus, but it does seem to have a bit of a rise and a dip before it crosses home plate. So yeah, you can't say it's an eephus pitch, but his fastball, it doesn't have a lot of velocity, and it does seem to go up and down. And now they're going to meet at the mound. So now the meeting at the mound is over. Runyons is back and ready to pitch. And Owen is back in the box. Three-one pitch, low and outside. And they threw over to first base to try to get Donick, but it was ball 4, so he was forced to advance to second anyway. They thought they caught him stealing, but it was ball 4, so he advances. And now Brock Burgess stepping into the box for his first at-bat of the day. He's taking the place of Harry Fitzgibbon, it seems. Donick and Block on on second and first, respectively. And that's another ball. Another one high. 1-0 count here in Burgess' first plate appearance of the day. One-zero pitch, grounded, and it'll be foul. 1-1 now. Donick taking a lead from second, and Block doing the same at first. He went sidearm there. You could probably even call that submarine, and he threw a strike. 1-2 now. So we had his interesting windup earlier, and he just threw a submarine pitch, something I haven't seen in high school baseball in a long time. We'll see if he does it again here. And that's strike 3. He swung at that one and missed it. It was low and outside. Maybe I was exaggerating a bit when I called that a submarine pitch, but it's certainly sidearm. He's certainly going low, throwing those pitches. So, an interesting approach, to say the least. And now it's another high pitch, another high ball. It is a 1-0 count for and ball low. It gets by him. It looks like it's Edward Crane at the plate. My apologies. It's hard to see here in center field who the batter is, and the scoreboard hadn't changed yet. So we can now tell it is Edward Crane at the plate. So obviously putting some substitutions in here as we get to the later part of the game, and it will be concluding soon most likely. Pops that one up, gets to left field, and the catch is not going to be made. Mahoney might be able to score here. He's going to hold up at third base. Safe play as the ball just gotten in. That was a fly ball to left field. Left fielder got there for it, but he must have misjudged it just a little bit because it just got by his glove. He was unable to make the play, so it will be recorded as an error, but it gets Crane to first base, and now Isaac Gordon will step into the box for his first at-bat of the day.
It should be mentioned, Isaac Gordon promised me and Reed an amazing performance today if he got in. So we'll see what happens.
He did, and it will be exciting to see what his at-bat will bring to USN. And it's a high and outside ball on the first pitch. Swung out and missed on a low pitch there. 1-1 count for the lefty. And if he wasn't a lefty, if he was a right-handed batter, that first pitch probably would have hit him in the head, and we probably would have Isaac on first base with bases loaded. But he is a lefty, so we've got a 1-1 count now. Another high and outside ball. 2-1 now. He comes set here. Swung at that one, and it goes to first base. Gets through it. My apologies. We did have bases loaded there, and a 1-1 real score. So bases loaded once again as Isaac gets to first base. Probably going to score that as an error, but a run scores here for USN. We got 1 out, and we got a 10-2 ball game. So bases loaded once again. My apologies for that mistake. I did say there were only runners on first and second. There were bases loaded. And now Will Meyer steps up to the plate again. Bases loaded, ball low and outside. Catcher had to really jump for that one, or dive, I guess you could call that, to get that pitch. 1-0 now.
I think it's safe to say Isaac delivered on his promise.
Yeah, he did get on base. It was a solid hit. And it's a foul ball from Will Meyer, and he gave his team another run. So, solid job from Isaac. And that ball gets by the catcher, is bounced into home plate. Will be another ball for Isaac, but no runner advanced. Two-one count for Gordon with 1 out. That ball high and outside had some velocity on it. That was the hardest pitch we've seen all day from Runyons, but it did not have any accuracy. 3-1 count now for Meyer. The 3-1 pitch to Will Meyer. He lofted that one in. He turned around. It almost hit him, but he gets the walk he was looking for. 11-2 is the score. Another run scores for USN automatically via a walk. So now we have a 9-run game. Wyatt Washko, the senior, getting his first at-bat of the day. If there is a 6th inning, if there is no run rule, we're probably going to see him pitch soon, as he was warming up to pitch. But who knows? If he gets around on one here, and there's a ball outside, if he gets around on one, that could end the game. Not quite sure what the run rule is in 5 innings, but I believe it's 10 runs in 5. So this could be the end of the ball game if he gets a hit, a walk, an error, a sacrifice fly, anything, I think. And there's a ball high and inside. That one, you could maybe make the case for that being a strike, but I think the umpire made the right call in calling it a ball. 2-0 count now for the senior. Swings that one, and it's hit into that same second base right field gap. That time they do make the catch, and USN does not try to advance a runner. They did not tag up at third base, so now 2 outs and still a 9-run game. Graydon now stepping into the box once again. So Wyatt may not be taking a spot as a pitcher. Maybe coming in to play second base. That is a position he plays sometimes. Or in the outfield. Graydon Frank makes contact with that one, really foul. Goes over the chain link fence in the netting into the crowd. So 0-1 count here for Graydon. Team encouraging him. He's performed so far today at the plate. He's gotten nothing but hits. 3 for 3 with 3 RBI. And he's got a chance to potentially get 3 more RBI here, depending on what kind of contact he makes with this ball. That one pitch inside nearly hit him. 1-1. One pitch. Swung on, hit, and it'll find the glove of the shortstop. That was so close. to getting by and being a nice single into the gap, but that will end the inning. Unfortunately, the game is not going to end here for USN. They thought they could have gotten the run rule. Not going to get it this time, and they'll have to play defense once again as we head into the top half of the 6th inning. So we got some changes for USN as we head into the 6th inning. Aiden Savona coming in to play third base. Owen Block remaining at short. Mahoney still at second. We have Townsend still at first. Will Meyer still in right field. But Austin Kaysen is coming in to play center. And we got, looks like Graydon's out there in left. Wyatt Washko, of course, the most notable substitution here. He's coming in to pitch. We saw him warming up earlier. And it looks like he'll be the team's closer for today. He's been another solid pitcher throughout his career. He was set to be the real ace of the team last year until, of course, COVID hit and there was no season. But he's going to come in here as the closer, and he's going to pitch to, looks like Wyatt Hines. Can't tell who it is at the plate, but it's a lefty. Either Wyatt Hines or Cade Montgomery. I think it's Hines. And first pitch high and outside. It is Cade Montgomery. My mistake there. At the plate for the Zion Christian Eagles. And here's the 1-0 pitch for Wyatt. Another high and outside pitch, 2-0. Washko, he's electing to pitch from the windup. We've seen Frank go from the stretch, and we've seen a couple other pitchers. I believe Owen Block pitches from the stretch no matter what the situation is. But Wyatt likes to go wind up. He actually goes with a bit of a hybrid between the two, and it's another high and outside pitch, 3-0. He starts, he comes set, but then he takes the step back as if he's in the wind up. So kind of a hybrid delivery, I guess you could call it. Maybe it'll throw the hitters off. Not quite sure what you would call that. But there's a strike right down the middle for the 3-0 pitch to make it 3-1. It hadn't worked for him in those first 3 pitches, but the delivery seems to be working now. As he's gotten his first strike of the day. We'll see if he can continue it here with this 3-1 count. Here comes a 3-1 pitch. Swung on, miss, 3-2. Looks like we got another arm getting loose in the bullpen. Looks like it's... Can't quite tell who that is getting loose. Might be Jeffrey. And there's the 3-2 pitch, fouled. Goes into the parking lot. Almost hits a couple cars, but it looks like it skips away into the wetlands without any trouble. Or without any need for auto repair. 3-2 count yet again for Wyatt here. We'll see if he can put him away. That ball grounded to first base, once again in foul territory, fielded by the first base coach of Zion. 3-2 yet again. Montgomery really working the count here and making Washco work for that third strike. He's fouled 2 of them off. So he might get walked here if he's thrown all the good pitches he has in the count. There's another one grounded up the middle, fielded by Donick. Can he get the throw off in time? He does, and it's caught by Townsend, so he puts him away. Routine ground ball to second base to get the first out of the inning. And we got 1 out, no runners on, still 11-2 game. Wyatt Hines, the former pitcher, stepping up to the plate now, second lefty in a row, and he's the cleanup hitter. Not every day you see the pitcher and the cleanup hitter be the same player, but that's what's going on today for the Eagles. First pitch. High, a little bit outside, 1-0. Pitch in the dirt. He looked like he wanted to swing at it, but he pulled back. We got a 2-0 count now. Pitch. High once again. We got another 3-0 count. We'll see if he can come back in this one like he did in the last one, where he was down 3-0. He came back, threw 2 strikes, 2 foul balls, and then it was a ground ball up the middle to get the out. So he deals from the windup. 3-0 pitch, and it's swung on and hit deep into right center field. Cayson's going to get there in time. He slips and falls, gets it into the infield in time, but not in time to stop the runner from advancing to second base. Took too big of a lead, or a couple extra strides from second. And if there was somebody home at second base, they could have potentially thrown him out and applied the tag. But both middle infielders looked like they wanted to be the cut man there. So we've still only got 1 out, and now we have a runner on second base. USN really wanting to limit Zion from scoring here, because I do believe if they can keep Zion from getting on the board this inning, that will be the run rule for the 6th inning, and they can finish this game. Would be a great way for Wyatt to finish his USN career with a solid inning. Jackson Hughes there now up at the plate for Zion. The first pitch was high and inside. He turned away from it like he was anticipating to get hit by the pitch, but it was just a little off. So we have a 1-0 count. The 1-0 pitch. Same scenario, high inside. He was anticipating being hit by it, but yet again, it's just a regular ball, 2-0. Looks like it's Quinn Powers in the bullpen for USN. Still not quite sure about that. It is a solid distance from here to there. Third ball, yet again, high and inside. Turning away to face the crowd behind home plate. Like it was going to hit him in the shoulder. But once again, just a little too close to the plate. And we have another 3-0 count for Wyatt. We'll see if he can claw his way back in this one. 3-0 pitch. That time it's going to be ball 4, so runners on first and second now for the senior pitcher. First pitch, swung on, ground up the middle. Wyatt jumps up, makes the play, gets it to second base. Can they get the double play? They do.
Let's go.
That'll end the inning. That might end the game. We'll have to see a signal from the umpire, but the ball chopped up the middle. Wyatt made the play. He jumped to get that one. Threw it to second base. Owen Block was there, and he turned 2.
Looks like it's it.
Both teams going to the dugouts, but now Zion congregating outside of theirs. We might have a bottom of the 6th here. They still might need a couple runs to put it away. And it looks like they are going to need a couple runs to put it away, as now Runyons is trotting out to the mound to go throw his warm-up pitches. I would have to imagine 9 runs would satisfy the run rule in the 6th inning, but I could be wrong. I thought the run rule was 8 in the 6th. apparently it's not, or maybe the coaches are agreeing to waive that run rule since it's senior night and they want to give the seniors one last opportunity to make some plays here. So Jackson Hughes coming in, the second baseman to take the spot of Dylan Runyons on the mound. So far, he's throwing a lot of low pitches. He has more velocity than Runyons did, but a lot of low pitches. So we're going to see how the hitters will adapt to it. USN, I think they like to hit a high ball more than a low ball, but they might not get a chance to hit any, as he has hit the strike zone maybe one time so far in his warm-up pitches. Seems like this Zion pitching staff is really running thin here, and Hughes will deliver his first pitch of the game. First pitch, another low pitch. That one bounced, got by him. 2-0 count here. Scoreboard says 3-0 for Aiden. I'm pretty sure it's 2-0, but I could be mistaken. Maybe he threw a second ball there earlier. Counts 2-0. We'll see in a second, I guess. That ball, it doesn't matter. He swings at it, and it goes deep into left field. It's in fair territory. He's going to get at least the second base, and he'll hold up right there. Solid hit for Aiden. He throws up the U to the dugout. Dugout loving that one. They do their tradition of throwing up the U when you get a multi-base hit. And now Hugh Greenfield steps up to the plate. So we have Jackson Hughes pitching to Hugh Greenfield. Battle of the Hughes, you could say. with a runner on second base and no outs. First pitch, high inside, ball 1.
Great eye.
Takes his time to deliver, and now he's going to try to pick off to second. He doesn't get 8 in there. Ball trickled by the glove of the shortstop. And if he really wanted to get third base, he could have tried to steal it there, as there was nobody to back up. It took him a second to get there. Runyon's now back at second base. It took him a second to get there on the backup. So if Aiden really wanted that third base, he could have gotten it, potentially. But he decided to go the safer route and stay at second base, something I probably would have done if I was in his shoes too. 1-0 pitch gets by him, and now Aiden will take third base. So no outs, runner on third, and a 2-0 count for Greenfield. Watches that one go by, and it's another inside pitch. Will be another ball, 3-0 here. So usually you don't want to swing on a 3-0 count, but of course it's the last game of the year, at least the last home game of the year. So you might want to make it count, and this will probably be the last at-bat of the day for him, the only at-bat. And that one's called a strike. You watch that one go by. It was high and outside, but not far enough to be outside of the strike zone, so 3-1. Maybe he will get a chance to swing here. But we are late in the game in the 6th inning. He grounds that one over to shortstop. Run will score no matter what, and he gets to first base. Not in time, though. Ball was scooped, and signal from the umpire, he was out, but the umpire looked like he gave a safe signal. He will go into the dugout. He'll get the RBI, and it's 12-2. And no, he was giving the signal to say ball game. That is the run rule. USN wins this game 12-2. Extremely solid performance on senior night for USN. What more could you want on a senior night than a 10-run win with 2 senior pitchers, one of whom shines on the mound for 5 innings. Then he goes 3 for 3 at the plate with 3 RBI. Or 3 for 4, apologies. He did fly out in his last at-bat, but that's one of the best games of the year for USN. Hard to top the 3-2 win against Friendship, which is a historic program win, but this is definitely up there with the best of the season. Great performance. Everything really went their way, and this game, quite honestly, could have ended up with a scoreline of something like 16-2. So fantastic performance from USN. Kyle, any final thoughts?
Well, I really just walk away with one major thought, and this team is like a brotherhood. I mean, they were smiling together, laughing together, they were picking each other up. Overall, it was just great teamwork, and I think they're all happy to see the seniors succeed on their last home game.
Yeah, the team chemistry on this team is incredible, and they do love to see their guys like Graydon and Wyatt shine on their last outing. So great way to send the seniors off. Will Meyer, Wyatt Washko, Nathan Woodard, and of course Graydon Frank, the seniors on this team, playing their last home games as Tigers, and a great way to finish their USN careers. For Kyle Wolfson, I'm Reed Murray. Thank you for tuning in to another broadcast of USN Sports, and we'll see you next time.